What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Manchester City season for the 2020-2021 campaign. Now, before I crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, you want to help to support my channel, then do subscribe, press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. We are aiming for 18k subscribers, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. You can also find my social media links there in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy this video, and also let me know your thoughts in the comments below of what you've made of Manchester City's extremely successful campaign. Now, let's start with this review because we've literally got so much to get through. What a season. No matter what happens on Saturday, I feel like Manchester City have had an outstanding season. We have made progress in the Champions League. We've knocked out some great teams this year in the knockout phase since we've gone past the last 16. We've knocked out Mönchengladbach, not to be underestimated. They're a decent team. Beat them both times in both legs at neutral venues. Not an easy thing to do. We've knocked out Borussia Dortmund as well in the tricky quarter-final stage. We've managed to get that off our burden as well. And we've also knocked out a class team in Paris Saint-Germain as well. It's been a fantastic Champions League campaign from us. Like I said, the quarter-final curse, it has ended. We've also got past the semi-finals for the first time as well. Of course, that might have been playing on some of the players' minds when we went out against Real Madrid. We never really turned up over the two legs. Well, we turned up this time and we've knocked out a class team in PSG, and I feel like this campaign, regardless of what happens on Saturday against Chelsea, is going to serve the team a lot of confidence going into forthcoming Champions League campaigns as well. So to me, this has been an outstanding success no matter what happens on Saturday. It would be brilliant, it would be fantastic to go and win it on Saturday, but to me it isn't our do-all and end-all in 90 minutes against Chelsea. We're going up against a decent Chelsea team being led under Thomas Tuchel, a decent manager as well. It's going to be a difficult game for us to be able to come across and get that win. Hopefully, like I said, fingers crossed we can do that and Pep can continue his amazing record in finals and we can come home with the European Cup as well from Portugal. That would be the dream season for us, but if it doesn't, like I said, we've still got plenty of confidence to take from the season. The FA Cup, a success as well. Semi-finals once more. Be nice to have got to a final, and it'll be nice to win the trophy as well, but a semi-final, it's not too disappointing. It certainly isn't a third round or a fourth round exit. So yeah, again, we went out against a decent team like Chelsea. So yeah, that's not too bad. And of course, we won the Carabao Cup as well. It's a cup that we love to win. We've now become the joint best League Cup team in history alongside Liverpool as well. So that's really nice that we are just starting now to improve our prestige when it comes to not only the domestic campaigns but also a European campaign as well. And of course, we won the Premier League back from Liverpool. So to me, it's an outstanding team effort and certainly a fantastic season from Manchester City. At this moment in time, I would say our season's 9 out of 10. If we win on Saturday, I'm going to say it's a 9.5 out of 10. I can't give 10 out of 10 because there's 4 trophies on offer and we haven't come home with all 4 trophies. Yes, I am nitpicking, but that's how good of a season it has been for Manchester City. Let's not forget, we've not had a pre-season. We've had very little preparation going into the season, and we've ended the Champions League campaign from last season, a disappointing defeat against Lyon over one leg. We went into this coming season as starting as we mean to go on. We picked up a great win against Wolves away from home in the first game. Then we followed that up with extreme inconsistency. We lost at home our first home game of the season in a 5-2 result against Leicester. We took the lead in that game as well. We're very inconsistent. And then we spent the first 10 games or so just in the bottom half, lacklustre, looked out of ideas. We were feeling sorry for ourselves. We were lacking consistency. We looked burnt out. We looked like we was already feeling the impact of the season. The season's only just started. And by the time December came, I feared for the worst. I was thankful that Pep Guardiola managed to sign a new contract at Manchester City to manage to ease the pressures on him and on the club as well about is Pep going to leave Manchester City? Is this going to be the season where he does leave? And always have that dark shadow hanging over the club. So I'm happy that that went away, and I feel like that actually gave a little bit of a perk to the team, actually, and it offered more of a long-term solidarity to the team, and we ended up improving. By the time December came along, we picked up some results that were a bit hit and miss, but I just felt like we were just starting to finally find our feet a little bit, which we ended up then having a perfect January and February from there. And I feel like with the success that we've had from the build-up, from the start of the season to the middle to the end of the season, I felt like there was a turning point in our season. I felt like there was 3 turning points, actually, that I want to discuss with you guys. Now, the first and then turning points I felt was Ruben Diaz. He is the player of the season for me. He's had just as big of an impact on Manchester City as what Virgil van Dijk had at Liverpool, and he's extremely rated. He picked up awards after awards, and everyone was raving about Virgil van Dijk, and I feel like Ruben Diaz deserves the exact same treatment. He's been an excellent bit of recruitment from Manchester City, and to think Ruben Diaz, he was option C for Manchester City in the summer transfer window. Remember my daily updates from last summer? Everything was all about Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. It went on for months and months and months, and when it became clear that Koulibaly wasn't going to become a Manchester City player, attention for a couple of weeks turned to Jules Koundé then, and then that ended up falling flat as well. And there was, for a couple of days, there was a bit of concern that City might not address their long-term Vincent Kompany replacement, and so we ended up then stumping up the money and paying for Ruben Diaz, which I wish we'd done a lot sooner, because we could have had Ruben Diaz ready to go for the Wolves game and the Leicester game, and I feel like we may have picked up a more successful result against Leicester had we have had Ruben Diaz playing for us, but it wasn't to be. And Ruben Diaz has been that brilliant for Manchester City that he's ended up keeping a class player like Aymeric Laporte out of the team. He's formed a fantastic partnership this season with John Stones. He has been much improved for Manchester City, and the pairing together just look like a joy to watch. The way that they celebrate with each other when they keep clean sheets, when they do a great piece of defending, or they're doing things right, or they've got each other's back, or when they're scoring goals and they're having success, it's just amazing to see. And there is a fantastic working relationship between Stones and Ruben Diaz, and it works. And unfortunately for Aymeric Laporte, it's keeping him out of the team. And Nathan Ake, if he can keep himself injury free going into next season, I think he may find the same. It might keep him out of the team as well. But it shows the quality, the depth that Manchester City have. It's by far better than anybody else's. It's a brilliant piece of recruitment from Manchester City, so a big tick there. And I feel like Ruben Diaz is one of the major reasons why Manchester City have had so much success this season. I feel like the next turning point, so the second turning point for us, we had a little break just after Christmas, and it's controversial. Everton were furious about it. We were unlucky to be hit by COVID, and I fully support what Manchester City did for the protection of the club, of the players and the staff, and of Everton as well, and their coaches and their staff and their players as well. That match shouldn't have gone ahead, and it got called off. No, it shouldn't have been called off so late in the day, on the day, just a few hours before kick-off. That shouldn't have happened. It should have been done maybe the day before, once things were coming a bit clearer about City being impacted by the coronavirus. So I feel like that should have been handled maybe a little bit better. However, though, with the players isolated and the players having a little bit of a break and taking it easy, I felt like was a big turning point for us, going from a hit-and-miss December into a perfect January and a perfect February. And that break came just at the right time for us to allow us to turn our fortunes around. We went into 2 massive clashes just after that Everton game was postponed. It was an away match against Chelsea in the Premier League. It was a Carabao Cup semi-final against Manchester United at Old Trafford. 2 season-defying games. We go to Stamford Bridge, first team out. It's the only time Chelsea have faced the City first team, by the way, this season. We went to Stamford Bridge and we beat them, and then that and put us into a position where we could then really push on from there and pick up many wins, which I'll address more in the video coming up. And also winning that match against Manchester United at Old Trafford gave us the confidence, I think, to go out there to get the taste of blood for trophies, for success, and it allowed us then to really kick on. We picked up some good results just before that, including an away victory at Arsenal, if you cast your minds back, in the Carabao Cup just before Christmas. So the foundations were put in place for City, but these 2 games I felt were pivotal in deciding where Manchester City's season went. Was it going to be inconsistent, or was it going to be successful? And it was the latter. and it was fantastic, and it was momentum for us as well. And then lastly, moves us on to that January and February. That period, we picked up an injury to Kevin De Bruyne, 6 to 8 weeks. What a big loss for City that were just starting to get into their rhythm. Up stepped, we've spoke about Ruben Diaz. Let's speak about the other player that needs to be mentioned. He is one of the main reasons why Man City have had so much success this season, why we have managed to win the Premier League, why we've won the Carabao Cup, why we're in the final of the Champions League. Ilkay Gundogan, he really stepped up to the plate for Manchester City. He went from being this player that a few City fans didn't like. They wanted him to leave, they didn't rate him, they didn't think he was very good. He went from that to becoming Mr. Whippy, the man spoken about amongst every single Manchester City player, and what a class player Ilkay Gundogan was. He was assisting goals, he was scoring wonderful goals for us. By the end of the season, he was Manchester City's top scorer in the Premier League as well. What a January, February and March Ilkay Gundogan had. And then months were crucial for Manchester City to win in the Premier League, and I feel like he is a massive part of why Manchester City have become Premier League champions this season. He's a massive part of why we've got to the final of the Champions League. He helped to knock out Borussia Mönchengladbach. He enabled us to make progress, to get to a semi-final of an FA Cup, to get to a final of the Carabao Cup, to eventually go on to win it. Ruben Diaz, Ilkay Gundogan, brilliant seasons. For me, two of the most standout players in a season that's full of success. I am going to speak about the other players as well, because I have to. The City have had a really good season. It's not just them two, it's a team effort, but them two for me have been two standout players for Manchester City, in my complete honest opinion. Now, City in the season, we ended up setting some new records. That included us winning 12 away games in the Premier League consecutively, breaking the record of 11, which was our own record, so we broke that. We went on an unbeaten run, stretching from December right through to March. Actually, it might have been November when we lost against Tottenham away, and it ended when we lost against Manchester United in March. It was a 28-game unbeaten run in all competitions. During that run, we went on a 21-game winning streak in all competitions. I spoke about it right at the beginning of the season, and I said the Premier League trophy is going to be decided on one thing and one thing alone: consistency. And Manchester City during that period, running from November right through to March, were extremely consistent. The run that we went on made sure that Manchester City, in what in my opinion probably should have been quite a tight, very narrow Premier League title race, there should have been 3 or 4 teams really competing for that Premier League trophy. It didn't happen. City had injuries, like I said, to players like Kevin De Bruyne. During them important months, we didn't have Kevin De Bruyne, and instead other players, our rotated team, really stepped up to the plate for Manchester City. Touched with a bit of class from Pep Guardiola, a bit of rotation, 2, 3, 4 players here and there. Not too much or too little rotation, just the right amount. Add that into the whole mixture with Pep's system and the players really performing full of confidence, and each player in each position stepping up to the plate. That's why this momentum went on for City. That's why this winning record went on, and that enabled us then to go out there and become Premier League champions, Carabao Cup champions, European Cup finalists and FA Cup semi-finalists. What a season it's been from Manchester City. Ederson in this season, he's picked up the Golden Glove for Manchester City. I can guarantee you if Kevin De Bruyne didn't have that injury for 6 to 8 weeks, he'd be taking the assist trophy. He doesn't. Harry Kane takes that along with the top goal scorer in the Premier League as well, a player that Manchester City apparently in the summer are trying to chase as well. So it seems like City are just trying to hog all the glory and make sure that our jigsaw puzzle continues to be the best it can be. Complacency cannot happen going into next season. We need to be making sure we're keeping the squad nice and fresh. We're addressing where the problems are, and we're always showing that continuous improvement. That is how you become successful. That is how successful Premier League clubs are run, and that is exactly how Manchester City are ran as well. Now, let's move on to speak about some of the players. Let's start with the goalkeepers. Firstly, I want to give a big congratulations to Scott Carson making his debut for Manchester City and saving a penalty as well, albeit the rebound went in, but that was really nice to see for the big man. And like I said, a big congratulations to Ederson picking up the Golden Glove as well, getting some assists for Manchester City as well. What we want to see is him taking a penalty. Apparently, if that match on Saturday is going to penalty shootouts, Ederson says he wants a spot kick. He wants the most important. He wants spot kick number 5, and he's not even practicing. He has that much ability. quality in himself. So I hope that doesn't come back to bite us if it does go to penalties. He better score if he is taking one. I'll tell you that right now. And I also want to say well done to Zack Steffen. Without him, we wouldn't have won the Carabao Cup. It's another trophy to add to our trophy cabinet. He can take a lot of confidence away from that. And to be honest, I feel sorry for Zack Steffen. He's a class goalkeeper having to sit on the bench. And it must be very frustrating being the United States international goalkeeper, being a class goalkeeper and having to sit on the bench and play understudy. But he must be having a great learning experience, a successful learning experience definitely as well. The question remains, how long will Zack Steffen be happy to sit on the bench for? But all three goalkeepers there for City having tremendous seasons. Let's not forget about the EDS team and also the under-18s team as well, winning their domestic divisions as well. This continued success is continuing now down into the academy as well, and it is really good to see. So congratulations to all of the EDS team and everyone associated with them, and also the under-18s team and everyone associated with them. Now let's move on to defenders. What a season Kyle Walker has had. Falling down the pecking order at England during the first lockdown as well. He came under a lot of scrutiny for his actions as well. It could well have broken him, and he's very strong mentally. He hasn't allowed that to happen. He's actually bounced back and he looks better than ever. He's into the England squad. He should be going to the European Championships in the summer. If he isn't, then Gareth Southgate needs a slap, because he has been outstanding for us. Joao Cancelo has been another player that has been brilliant for us, really stepped up to the plate. He's shown a bit of fatigue towards the end of the season. To me, that's nothing a little bit of time off wouldn't sort in the summer, and I'm about him to come back stronger and better than ever. Left back does remain a bit of a concern for me. Obviously, Zinchenko is looking more consistent. He's looking like a more likely option than what Benjamin Mendy is right now. Benjamin Mendy, though, he hasn't had too bad of an end for the last 6 weeks or so for Manchester City. Will he be given the nod along with Zinchenko going into next season, though, with City being linked with left backs? That remains to be seen. Nuno Mendes, of course, a player City getting linked with. He's only young. I could see City maybe signing him and keeping him out on loan maybe for another season, and it could well be a final chance for Zinchenko and Mendy. A bit harsh me mentioning Zinchenko in there because he has been brilliant. It all comes about whether Zinchenko wants to play a squad rotating role or whether he wants to become a first team player. Is he happy playing at left back or does he want to play elsewhere? It's always going to come under scrutiny, that, but Zinchenko looking happier than ever, looking better than ever as well. Question marks remain over Benjamin Mendy, but Benjamin Mendy, if he does leave, will be a big blow to the Manchester City dressing room and morale as well. He's a player that a lot of players like and enjoy being around. He likes to party and it gets the spirits up, so he would be a big loss to Manchester City. And so if that does happen, then Man City need to make sure that they are replacing him with other characters as well that are going to make sure it brightens up the changing room as well. The last thing you want is 25 players in the changing room and 25 robots. There we go. And I feel like we've already mentioned the centre-backs. They've all had really good seasons. Nathan Ake unlucky with injuries. Aymeric Laporte's been kept out of the team because of how good John Stones and also Ruben Diaz have been. And I'm bouncing Aymeric Laporte to come back and go into the squad stronger and better than ever. And Eric Garcia, of course, has featured for Manchester City as well, but he isn't going to be a Manchester City player after next month. And it's a big shame because we are losing a young player who I felt like he could have signed a new deal at Manchester City. He chose he wanted to leave. So, yeah, a move never materialised for him to leave earlier. If it had, he would have left. He hasn't. He leaves now. There we go. We move on. When that does happen, it's announced. I wish him the best of luck and we'll move on from there. Now moving on to midfield. Fernandinho, Rodri, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. They've all been solid for the best parts of Manchester City's season. Fernandinho rolling back the years. Gundogan really stepping up to the plate. He's looked so much better than what he did at this point last season. So well done to all of them. They've all had outstanding seasons for Manchester City. One thing I'm hoping for is Fernandinho does sign a new contract at Manchester City. It's in the pipeline. It hasn't been signed yet. His contract expires in around a month's time or so. What are we waiting for? Don't hold back. Get that contract signed and let's get things sorted. Now, moving on to the wingers. Riyad Mahrez. He's very unlucky not to be mentioned alongside Ruben Diaz and also Ilkay Gundogan. He's had a brilliant season. He's managed to better, in my opinion, last season, and his form in the second half of the season has been tremendous. Without Riyad Mahrez, we don't get to the Champions League final. That is a complete fact. He single-handedly ripped apart a class team like Paris Saint-Germain. What a two-leg performance it was from Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez could do nothing for the rest of his City career, and I'll always remember that performance that he put in over 2 legs against PSG. Outstanding. Phil Foden as well. He did the same against Dortmund in the Champions League quarter-finals, just ripped them to shreds. Everyone was speaking about young players on the pitch. All the hype was about Erling Haaland, and Phil Foden just went under the radar. Went to the Signal Iduna Park and just ripped Borussia Dortmund to shreds. What a season he's had. He came off the bench at Anfield and helped us to break the Anfield curse in the Premier League as well. He's had a brilliant season. I think Phil Foden's season's best summed up in the Champions League. He's been great in the Premier League. He's been a next level above in the biggest competition of them all in the Champions League. UEFA put out a Twitter video the other day which I liked and retweeted, so it is on my page somewhere if you want to go and find it, showing Phil Foden's performances in the Champions League. It's only 2.5 minutes long, but it's 2.5 minutes of magic. Phil Foden is an outstanding player, and I've never been more glad to have him at our club than what I am right now. And he 100% has to be going to the European Championships with England. Now, Bernardo Silva, he's played in the middle. He's moved out wide as well at some point. To me, better in the middle. He's really helped us to fill the void of David Silva leaving, and he is starting to find his form again as well. I had some concerns for him last season's review. Bernardo Silva, in my opinion, has had a better season this season than what he did last season, so that is good to see. Ferran Torres, to me, he's looked better in the middle than what he has out wide for Manchester City. I can possibly see him and Gabriel Jesus possibly swapping positions next season. Ferran Torres, congratulations to him winning Manchester City's goal of the season for his goal against Newcastle. Outstanding goal, an amazing goal, and a really good finish, and I'm backing him there now to start picking up his confidence and really build upon his first season at Manchester City, and hopefully he can have a really strong second season. I've always said, give a signing 2 seasons to judge. He's done 1 season, give him another season, and let's go from there. Raheem Sterling. Yeah, let's speak about Raheem Sterling. I really hope he goes to the Euros. I really hope he gets minutes for England, and I really hope he does well, and that picks up his confidence. He's looked better the last few weeks for City. He's looked slightly sharper, but still not at his best. I really want him to do well because I like Raheem Sterling. He's a brilliant player on his day. He can single-handedly rip apart any team when he wants. His pace, his persistency, his persistent attitude, he's just an outstanding player that on his day can do magic. Unfortunately for him, he's been incredibly inconsistent this season. Borderline frustrating, borderline infuriating at times as well for Raheem Sterling. I really do hope that he can get his confidence, get a couple of assists, get a couple of goals, come back to us pre-season, continue that in pre-season, get his confidence up and have him really firing on all cylinders going into next season. Fingers crossed that happens. I want Raheem Sterling to do well. Gabriel Jesus, like I said, I can see him possibly being used more out wide. When I see Man City starting with 2 attackers, Gabriel Jesus and another striker like Aguero, for example, it automatically gets your juices going. It excites you. And he does what Gabriel Jesus does. Drops deeper, helps the team, scores some important goals, misses some great chances as well. It's Gabriel Jesus. We all know what to expect about him. And the other player we've not mentioned is Sergio Aguero, which I'll mention in just one moment. But I want to mention Pep Guardiola. Well done to him on becoming the LMA manager of this season. It's been a brilliant season once more from Pep Guardiola, and Pep Guardiola showing why he is the best manager in the world. I was delighted when he signed that new contract back in November, and he really proved everyone wrong, because there were some people saying that they don't want Pep to be at the club anymore. Why? I never understood it then, and I don't understand it now. He's an outstanding manager. You don't get better than what Pep Guardiola does, and I'm fearing the day when it comes when Pep Guardiola wants to leave Manchester City. But yeah, big congratulations to Pep Guardiola, big congratulations to the coaching staff at Manchester City as well, and all of the staff as well. Let's not forget, it's been a very difficult couple of seasons for Manchester City and the fans as well for the club, not being able to go into the stadiums and show our support and appreciation and build up and have a normal football season like we normally would. It's been very difficult, and the fact that City have managed to show tremendous resilience going into this season and showing and having a great successful season has really picked up the mood for me being a Manchester City fan. So I wanted to send this message out to everyone associated with Manchester City when I say thank you. What a pleasure it has been watching Manchester City this season, and I feel incredibly honoured that I've been able to watch such brilliance. Let's go out there, Portugal, in Porto. Let's go and bring home the biggest prize of them all and show everyone what Manchester City are capable of. Now, Sergio Aguero, he leaves Manchester City after the Champions League final. He's Man City's all-time leading top goal scorer. He bagged a brace on his final game for Manchester City, coming off the bench to break Wayne Rooney's record of most goals scored in the Premier League. Aguero now has 184 goals, 10 years of service that he's shown to Manchester City, continuing to break records. Wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you very much to Sergio Aguero for all of the memories and all of the goals that he's provided to Manchester City, and I want to wish him the best of luck on wherever he does end up next. We will miss Sergio Aguero at Manchester City, and like I said, I wish him nothing but success, and he's always welcome back at Manchester City. He's a Manchester City legend, so thank you to Sergio Aguero. But now it's time to build on the season. Champions League final. This doesn't defy the season for us, in my opinion. This is just a bonus. We've already shown progress in the Champions League. We've got to the final. There's some people out there saying it's Chelsea that finished below us in the Premier League. The Premier League's 38 games. You have 38 games to put things right. This is one game, 90 minutes. As the FA Cup showed, anything can happen. We can lose that game. They're a good team, and it definitely can happen. One big bonus we've had, Chelsea haven't, over one leg, on a neutral venue, faced the Manchester City first team, and if they think that it's going to be exactly like what happened in the FA Cup semi-final, then they're going to be wrong. They're going up against Manchester City's creme de la creme. They're going up against Manchester City's best players, and whilst in my preview I'm going to speak about what Chelsea are going to offer, where the problems lie, Chelsea are going to be thinking the same about Manchester City. How do they stop Manchester City? It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a close game. Hopefully we can come out on top, bring the European Cup for the first time to the Etihad Stadium. That would be emotional. That would be the best thing ever. As far as I'm concerned, all focus will turn to the Champions League final on Saturday, and that's where all our heads turn. So yeah, best of luck to Manchester City in Porto. Go and bring the Champions League back to Manchester. That would be amazing. Now, I am going to mention the European Super League. I think it's disrespectful not to mention the European Super League. I'm willing to forgive the club. They've done their apology. It's happened. There's nothing we can do about that. The club's apologised. We've withdrawn from it. We wasn't that keen on it, and we all just want to move on away from that. I do hope that it never happens again in wanting to scrutinise the prestigiousness, is that a word? I don't even know anymore, of the English football competitions and the European competitions as well. Not as much has been done about UEFA and reforms, so I really do hope going into the summer that more will be done by these powerful clubs. Let's face it, they are powerful. Look at the reaction it caused, that they can really push for reforms in UEFA, because there's lots of cracks in UEFA's platform. Their new Champions League format, in my opinion, stinks. Lots of people were saying you've got to earn your way into the Champions League, and I completely agree with that. Well, this new platform offered by UEFA allows some teams into the Champions League that have not earned it through league position, yet nothing's really been kicked up about it. I don't really understand why. So yeah, like I said, push for reforms in the summer, and let's keep looking to try and make the beautiful game even more beautiful. So there we go. That has been my season review for Manchester City, and what a season it has been, and it can get even better on Saturday night. Let's go and beat Chelsea in Portugal. Let's get the Champions League trophy to the Etihad Stadium, and let everybody go and enjoy that historic moment. Best of luck to Manchester City and all the players, coaches, staff and fans all heading out to Portugal, and all watching it from wherever you're watching it from in the world. Now, thank you very much to everybody for watching this video. It is much appreciated. I will see you all again next season for what I'm hoping is going to be equally, if not even better, of a season full of memories. Hopefully all for the right reasons going into next season. Everyone's support throughout this season and all previous seasons since me creating this YouTube channel has been brilliant, and I wanted to thank each and every one of you that has liked my videos, commented on my videos, interacted with me on my videos, subscribed to my channel, become a JSGC member, donated money to the JSGC channel, and shown any support in any way, and follow me on social media. I've probably forgotten other stuff as well. Just thank you. Thank you very much for everyone. I've thoroughly enjoyed this season. What's been a very difficult season, not being able to go to games. I've missed it so much, and being able to provide content for you guys has helped fill that void for me, and it's been a complete pleasure of mine to provide all them videos for you guys. It's been an amazing season. Like I said, let's go and get the biggest prize of them all on Saturday, and I will be doing another live watch along for you guys to enjoy one more time for this season. So thank you everybody for watching. It is much appreciated. Please leave a thumbs up on this video if you did enjoy this video. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. 18k subscribers, that's what we're aiming for now here on the JSGC channel. And don't forget also, you can go and follow my social media links. Follow me on my social media, sorry, the links to them are in the description below. And sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too, if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business enquiries. I've got 2 more live streams to go. We've got the Europa League final live streaming tonight for you guys to go and enjoy. Come and join me over on there. Let's have some fun, no pressure. Man United losing in a European final, that's something to enjoy, so hopefully that can happen. Good luck to Villarreal on that. Then it's our turn on Saturday. Biggest prize of them all, Champions League final, Man City against Chelsea in Portugal, in Porto. Let's go make this brilliant, fantastic season into an outstanding season. Thank you everyone for watching. I've been JSGC. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.